Now to France, which has become the first country to make abortion a guaranteed constitutional right. There was overwhelming public support for the initiative. Abortion rights activists and supporters gathered in central Paris to celebrate as lawmakers overwhelmingly passed the measure. Abortion has been legal in France since 1975, and the constitutional change was prompted by the US Supreme Court removing the right to abortion in 2022. Let's get more from our correspondent, Lisa Louis in Paris. Welcome, Lisa. Was there any doubt about whether this would pass?
Well, not today, Phil, really. It was quite clear that senators and the members of the National Assembly would largely vote in favour of enshrining this, this freedom, this guaranteed freedom into the Constitution. However, this is the end of an 18-month legal process that started in summer 2022, and there were in the beginning several initiatives by opposition parties from the left, first of all, to do such a move. And the first wordings of these initiatives, so the right to abortion, were rejected by the Senate, the lower house of Parliament, where you have a right-wing majority. And then over the months, this topic really changed, and more and more people, more and more politicians were talking about, until finally it was clear that there needed to be another vote, and the government came into the picture and said, oh no, okay, let's negotiate on the exact wording of this new right. And now, as I said, what will be enshrined in the Constitution is the guaranteed right for women to have an abortion. And so finally, those in the Senate who felt a bit like they could vote maybe in favour, so we're not completely against enshrining this into the Constitution, they voted in favour of this initiative. And now we had this overwhelming majority today in the Congress in Versailles, where the government brought together the National Assembly and the Senate in favour of this initiative.
And why? Abortion has been legal in France since the 1970s. Why put it into the Constitution?
Well, that's a very fair question. And, before summer 2022, when, as you mentioned, the US Supreme Court overturned the constitutional right in the US to have an abortion, this was really very much an insider's topic. Feminists were talking about that, but many people felt we have the right, we have a law saying that you can have an abortion in France. We don't need to enshrine this into the Constitution. But then, when that happened in the US, it felt, as some people here put it, like an electroshock. And so people realized that actually that could be taken away from women. And that's when all this was set in motion. This comes obviously to the backdrop of European elections that are happening in June this year, and with the far right predicted to come first in the polls according to pollsters, and also a general rise of the far right. And far right parties are known, to be conservative, sometimes reactionary, and sometimes willing to take back women's rights. And so there was rising concern amongst politicians from the left, obviously, from the centre, but also from the centre-right, that maybe it was a good idea to enshrine this in the Constitution. Also, because here in France there's a presidential election looming 2027, and pollsters are no longer excluding that the far right could come first in these presidential elections.
Okay, thank you, Lisa. Lisa Louis in Paris.